Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Liberty Lady Liz here. Um, Today's video is about um, raising awareness about learning disabilities, children with learning disabilities, um, and this is all based on my personal experience, as I said in my disclaimer before this video started. So yeah, as I am saying, like in my disclaimer, this is just my personal experience. I'm not a professional. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm still on an IEP. So this is what I've been through. So let's get started. First thing, what is an IEP? I wrote some things down. Individualized education program or plan, depending on state. So what that means is it either stands for individualized education plan program or individualized education plan. The plan or the program part is based on what state you live in. It serves no matter what it stands for, whether it's program or plan at the end of individualized education, it serves the same purpose. So what it actually is it's a document, and a legal document through all 50 states tells families the diagnosis, strengths, weaknesses, what teachers can do to help, services your child is receiving, what goals they've reached, accommodations they can receive or are receiving. So if you live in Massachusetts like I do, IEP stands for Individualized Education Program. What are learning disabilities? The brain's difficulty of processing information and a person's difficulty to remember information they just heard. This could include stuff like math, reading, like reading comprehension, history facts can include all that, science facts, anything. Learning disabilities often include difficulties with math, spelling, grammar, writing, directions, organizing thoughts, organizing thoughts or ideas, reading comprehension, attention, difficulty with punctuation, meaning when they're writing, they're not good with punctuation. Like, they don't know if it's an exclamation mark, if it's a period, if it's a question. They might forget to put a question mark at the end of a question, stuff like that, or maybe commas. So, diagnoses can include ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, nonverbal learning disorder, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, anxiety, or depression, etc. So what I'm diagnosed with is autism spectrum disorder, nonverbal learning disorder, and then anxiety. I was diagnosed with ADHD, but I haven't been tested to see if I've outgrown it. I think I have outgrown it, but I'm not quite sure yet. But yeah, because I'm not on medication for it anymore, whereas a couple years ago I was. But we'll get into that later, or I'll talk about that some other time. How do I know if my child has learning disabilities? Get them tested by a neuropsych evaluator. The test for testing for learning disabilities is called a neuropsychological evaluation. Your child gets tested on things like math, reading comprehension, spelling, writing, grammar, memory, etc. So, how you do it is you don't just walk in. You have to you can Google neuropsychological testing centers near me or whatever, and then it should come up, and then just tell them that you'd like to get your child tested for learning disabilities. And based on my experience, it's not free. You have to pay to get them tested. But even if it's expensive, it's well worth it just to know that they might have a learning disability, and that there's something you can do to help them in school. So yeah, because my parents got me tested at 5. You have to be 5 to be tested, and it was expensive, but I had an IEP since kindergarten, and here I am now in 12th grade still with an IEP. So it is what it is. It stinks to have learning disabilities, yes, but the earlier you know, the better. So the more you can help them throughout their schooling. After testing, the evaluator will go over the results with you, meaning they might tell you, oh, they don't have a learning disability at all, or oh, they do have learning disabilities. And if your child gets tested and the testing results show they do have learning disabilities, it'll the evaluator will tell you what types of learning disabilities your child has, so you won't have to ask. If your child has learning disabilities and needs an IEP, you will meet with a team to start an IEP after testing, meaning you will meet with the school team. You'll tell the school district, my child has just gotten a neuropsychological evaluation, and the evaluator told me the results, and they do have learning disabilities, and tell them what types of learning disabilities they have. So when they're developing the IEPs on the diagnosis page, they can say everything that you told them that they were about the learning disabilities they were diagnosed with. It'll say, the diagnosis page will say, for you new parents out there who might be having kids with IEPs who are like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, the diagnosis page will say what your child has as learning disabilities, so you don't have to you might have to tell them, you will have to tell them, but once it's on there, unless you get them tested to see if they've overgrown or outgrown a learning disability, but you don't have to worry about that, unless you want to figure out if they've outgrown a learning disability. How can I support my child with learning disabilities? Help your child with their homework after they get home from school, meaning, help them get stuff out of their backpack, like maybe a binder, their notebooks, their homework. Help them with their most difficult subjects first, which is what my parents did when I was in early elementary school. Like first and second grade, they would help me with my most difficult subjects. I would always start with math first because even to this day, I still struggle with some topics in math. So I always like to get the most difficult subject over with first, and then do the easier ones after. And then while you're doing their homework, or you could take a break, or you could let them have a snack and ask them, how was your day? Did you see all your friends at school? Was anybody absent? Did you if you packed their lunch? Did you like what I packed for you for lunch? How was your teacher today? Stuff like that. Or teachers, depending on if they're in middle school or high school or whatever. But ask them, how was your teacher? How was your teachers? When helping them with their homework, break it down into steps. Tell them a way to help them remember what they are learning. Maybe give them visuals, or tell them a strategy that you learned in school to help you learn a topic. There's all different sorts of ways you can do it. Just ask them what I'll get into that. Understand if they are a visual or auditory learner or both. So for me, from personal experience, I am a both visual and auditory learner. The only time I'm completely an auditory learner is my favorite subject in school is history. So when I'm in history class, I don't really need a visual because I can picture what the teacher's teaching about, what historical event my history teacher is teaching about in my head, because I've seen so many pictures and photographs, because I love history and I learn about it on my own outside of school. So I've seen so many pictures and photographs or paintings or drawings that I know what it looks like in my head, so I can be oh, I can envision that. I know exactly what that looks like. Whereas some other people may be like, can you show me a picture and explain to me why this historical event happened? What is the significance? Why do we need to learn about it? Why is it in textbooks? Stuff like that. Ask your child, this is what I was saying earlier, ask your child if they have any learning strategies that helps them learn best. In math, especially this year I'm taking Algebra 2, so I have to ask my math teacher, can you give me a visual, show me how to set up the problem? Because you could tell me a problem and I could write it down. I just could have, I could have written down the right numbers and exponents and variables, but I didn't set up the problem correctly. Now that's a problem, because if you don't clarify or ask the teacher for clarification, they might say, oh, well, you didn't ask me. So that's why you should ask your child, do you learn visually, auditory? Do you learn both ways? How can I help support you so that you can be successful in school? What are IEP accommodations? So IEP accommodations are changes made to your child's IEP. Some accommodations can be a quiet space for test taking, meaning they get taken out of the room by like a special education teacher at school, or a teacher if they're like when I was in elementary school, all throughout first or fifth grade I got taken out for tests because I had ADHD and they wanted me to focus. I had the attention type, so they wanted me to focus. And the best way to do that was taking me out of the test where there would be like kids with like my type of learning style, so we would all be in the same room, quiet space together, and it wouldn't be loud, so we could all do our best we could on the test. Extra time on tests, meaning yes, they get an extra space, but they don't have to finish by the end of by the end of the test period. They can take as long as or as little as they need. That was a common thing with me in elementary school. Extra time on quizzes, same thing for extra time on tests. Writing assignments, or like extra time on writing assignments, projects, schoolwork, homework. So yeah. So that means if like projects, schoolwork, homework, writing assignments, that means if they say, okay, well, you have a project due in a week, and your project is to choose any time period in American history, and like let's say you're in third grade, and your third grade teacher's like, okay, well, you have a project due in a week, and I would like you to spend some time researching and writing about, or doing a presentation about a time in our country, in America's history that you find interesting, or a topic that's your favorite topic, and I want you to write about it, or maybe put it in a slideshow or something, or maybe get like a poster board with like a poster board with like one of those things that you get from Staples, a trifold, and you can present information that way. Now, if your teacher knows your accommodations, they have to follow them, because by law, by federal law and by state law, no matter what state you live in, you're required to follow the child's IEP or the student's IEP. So yeah, there's ways that can happen. Not gonna get into it, but that won't be followed. So that means when the whatever they hand in, homework, schoolwork, project, writing assignments, the class hand, that means the regular learners hand it in when it's due. But if your child has a learning disability and it's on their accommodation that they get extra time on projects, anything, or any type of thing involving like long-term work, or like even a week long, that means that they get to turn it in later than the average learner in their class. So that's what that means. And then another accommodation is, well, I got extra time on like schoolwork, like projects, writing assignments, anything, tests. So I can relate to that. And I still get extra time for that stuff. I believe it's still an accommodation on my IEP. Another thing is warnings before fire drills, lockdown drills, or any emergency drills, like, depending on what state you live in, like, some states do, or, like, I think some states, like, for example, California, they have to do, earthquake drills because they get a lot of earthquakes there. Whereas Massachusetts, we don't have to do earthquake drills because, like, we don't have to worry about that stuff. So, yeah, so I get a warning before a lockdown. Well, the whole school gets a warning before a lockdown, like my whole campus, because my school for people with language-based learning disabilities is middle school through high school, but it starts at 4th grade. 4th through 8th grades in the middle school, and then 5th through 12th grades, or 4th through 8th grade is in the middle school, and then 9th through 12th is in the high school. So I'm sure you get the idea. And then only certain people in the middle school and in the high school get a warning like 5 minutes before the fire alarm's supposed to go off, meaning there's a fire drill. They'll be like, just wanted to give you a heads up, you're not in trouble, there's a fire drill. Like, your counselor, the dean of students can do it in my high school, and then, or maybe like the vice principal or the principal or whoever can be like, oh, I know the student needs a warning, let's, like, they're like, you're not in trouble. I just wanted to let you know that in a couple minutes we're going to be having a fire drill, so you're not startled and you're prepared when it goes off. So you're not like oh, I didn't know this was going to happen, because if you got a warning a couple minutes before, when you know the fire alarm's going to go off, don't tell anybody, but just know that it's coming. And then you know what to do when you hear it. But and then another accommodation is your child. Some people's your child might need to sit in front of the class to so the teacher can make sure that they are supporting your child and that your child is learning in the best way they can. Like your teacher might be like, your child's teacher may be like, especially if they're in elementary school, did you get that? Do you understand? Do you need me to break it down for you so you can learn it better? Is there anything you need clarification on? Anything that the teacher can do to make sure that your child's learning the best way possible. Is my child with learning disability smart? Yes, they just need a learning disability. Just means they need extra support and learn differently. Extra support means extra support just means that they need an IEP and a lot of teacher help, but and their brain process information differently. And another thing is that some people who don't understand what learning disability is, that think that people with learning disabilities lack intelligence. No, people with learning disabilities don't lack intelligence, and learning disability does not lack intelligence. It just means that your child needs extra help, extra support, extra teacher support. That's why they're on an IEP, to support them throughout their schooling or for however long they need it. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're dumb. It doesn't mean that they can't academically perform well. It just means that they need extra help and support, and there's nothing wrong with that. What to do if my child with learning disabilities laughs at inappropriate topics? My parents had this problem with me when I was like in the 4th grade. My parents had 4th grade through let me say, for my mom, my mom had this problem with me for like 4th grade through to the Thanksgiving of my freshman year, 9th grade. So she had this problem with me for a while. Explain to your child that it is not funny, whatever inappropriate topic they're laughing at. Be patient with them. Don't yell at them, because if you yell at them, they may feel like, well, why are you yelling at me about it? Just please be calm and explain to me why it's not funny. And they might not, because at the time when I was laughing at this stuff, I didn't get diagnosed with high functioning autism until 8th grade, and I was the beginning of 8th grade, and I was 13, because my birthday isn't until March. So it was October, and I was still October 2020, and I was 13, because my 14th birthday was March 7th of 2021. So yeah, my mom was yelling at me because she didn't know I had autism spectrum disorder. She just knew I had learning disabilities. It wasn't until 8th grade that autism spectrum disorder got added, because I had another neuropsych evaluation to get into the school I am in now. That's a long story, but basically that's how she found out I have autism spectrum disorder, high functioning autism. Explain that there are consequences to the person that something unfortunate happened to. Okay, example. For example, your child might have older siblings, younger sibling. Let's say your child has a older sister, and your child with a learning disability is also a girl. She laughed at her older sister because her older sister fell down the stairs, and your child with a learning disability thought it was funny. That means the person, their sister, got laughed at by their sibling, their younger sister, because they fell down the stairs. falling down the stairs is the unfortunate situation in that scenario. So that's what I mean by that. If I clarified, by me clarifying that, I hope that makes sense. Children with learning disabilities can find the following topics funny and laugh at the following topics. I know because everything I wrote down that people can find funny are things that I used to find funny when I was younger. People falling up the stairs, people falling down the stairs, people slipping and falling on ice/black ice. Meaning black ice, meaning you can't see it so it blends in the pavement. When you go to walk on it, you slip and fall. That's what black ice is. And then ice, like clear ice that you can see that doesn't blend in with the pavement. Car accidents, and then people hitting their heads, etc. So I used to laugh at all that stuff because I thought it was funny. But my mom was like, no, it's not funny. And here's why it's not funny. Yeah, she might have lost her patience, but she knew that, well, she might have something wrong with her that makes her think that it's okay to laugh at that stuff. And that's what children with autism spectrum, a lot of children with autism spectrum disorder, like myself, do or used to do. And it also depends on how old your child is, what they think is funny. And people with autism spectrum disorder and learning disabilities, they're not laughing because they're not laughing to be demeaning towards the person that something unfortunate happened to. They're not laughing at that. They're just laughing. They're not trying to be mean or demeaning. They're just laughing because they think it's funny. They think it's funny. And there's nothing you can do to, there's nothing you might be able to do that can, convince them otherwise, but sometimes you can. Sometimes you can convince them, sometimes you can't convince them, otherwise that's not funny. No matter how many times you try to explain, it might go in one ear and out the other, meaning like they think they understand, but they really don't. So maybe you might need to break it down and tell them, like, here's a scenario, give them scenarios, and be like, is it okay to laugh at this? Is it not okay to laugh at this? That's just what I would suggest. What to do if my child with learning disabilities asks, is it funny when? I used to do this. Mostly when I was 9, 10, 11 years old. I used to ask my mom, is it funny when? Example, is it funny when a person falls down a flight of stairs? Tell your child, a person could break a bone and need to go to the emergency room. If you feel the need to laugh, excuse yourself. Meaning, if they see someone at home, at school, in public fall down a flight of stairs, and they feel the need to laugh, don't laugh in front of the person because it could offend the person or make the person have hurt feelings because they think they're being laughed at by, when they don't know that your child has learning disabilities and autism spectrum disorder. If they do, they don't know that. They think that your child's trying to laugh at them because they think it's funny and they think it's funny that they could be hurt. No, your child just might think it's funny because it looks funny and it doesn't happen all the time. There's several reasons. Or like you could say, instead of laughing, if you're a parent and you have a child like this with learning disabilities and autism spectrum disorder, you could say to them, instead of laughing, ask if they are okay, or only laugh if they are laughing, meaning if someone falls down the stairs and the person's laughing, yeah, obviously ask them if they're okay, but once you know they're okay and they start laughing, then start laughing. If they're not laughing and nobody who saw them fall down the stairs is laughing, and then your child is laughing, just be like, maybe you should take a break, or maybe please excuse yourself because it looks like the person who fell down the stairs is feeling hurt. Understand the person who fell down the stairs, understand how they're feeling, and just tell them, hey, it's not the best thing to laugh at them. They're feeling a little hurt, they look hurt. And just explain to them, you have to read their body expression and their facial cues and be like, they don't look like they're amused by this. They look like they're a little hurt or shocked that it happened. Or maybe just say, like, go take a break and, like, have your favorite snack or go watch your favorite TV show. If you're at home, don't laugh at them. Because then, by telling them not to laugh, they'll maybe get a better understanding of, okay, I laughed, but I need to take a break because, I don't want to laugh at someone who's hurt, who's feeling hurt, because the person who's feeling hurt would have even more hurt feelings because I'm laughing at them. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a better understanding of what a learning disability is, what an IEP is, how to spread awareness, and that I'm in the same boat. If your child has a learning disability, not autism spectrum disorder, I do too. And hopefully you can take this information, and if you think that your child might need to get tested, it's not a bad thing. Remember that learning disabilities do not lack intelligence. Your child is smart. And I will see you on the next video. And also comment down below if you want to see more videos of me talk about learning disabilities and and certain types of learning disabilities and how they impact the brain's ability to process information. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!